Be good to catch up on some of the latest Syria stuff. Actually, that would be really
So
good.
what's really happening in Syria? Everyone wants to know. Some people say it's Al Qaeda. Some people say it's just the Syrians. Others say that it's jihadis.
Maybe it's all of them.
It's all of the above, is what I'm concluding at this point. Al Qaeda and FBI Qaeda are well known to have their hands in the affairs of the Middle East. This is nothing new. Syria is the entry into Iran, I guess you can say, where it's at. It's like one of the last countries to border Syria that we haven't surrounded Iran with. So it's in a pretty strategic location. And the Syrian government, they're getting a lot of arms from Russia and also Iran.
Is this building up towards World War III now, or what?
I think everything is.
I mean, here we are. We're like back at it's the Cold War now, with Russia putting in nuclear missiles back in Cuba, and they're gonna put them back in Vietnam or something too. I mean,
Yeah, they're
I don't know what that's
they're
all
looking
about.
at reinvesting into their old military installations abroad, not only Cuba, but also North Korea, and where else was it? There was another nation that China was gonna decide to build bases in. Oh, well, you said Vietnam.
Yeah,
Which
is
I think
weird.
it was Vietnam, North Korea,
History.
and Cuba.
What's going on in Syria? I mean, are there?
Well, one thing that's happening in Syria is you have a lot of outside influence, economically and financially. There's a lot of Chinese investments and Russian investments, also German and European investments in Syria as well. One of the biggest trade partners with Syria is Iran, since they're their neighbor. And another thing too that a lot of people don't realize is that Iran and Syria both have a defensive pact in place where if either of the nations are attacked from an outside aggressor, the immediate activation of the military forces of the allied nation would cause them to be drawn into a larger war.
Don't they have one involved with Russia? At least one of those countries too.
I
Syria.
I can't remember exactly what the Syrian-Russian alliance is, but I do know that they get a lot of aid from Russia.
Right, because you keep hearing about Russian warships going into Syria, going into that
Well, so they
area.
can protect their investments.
There's a lot of corporate things involved in this. There's a lot of money involved in this. A lot of business. And
yeah, a lot of investments. That's all I was saying.
A lot of
Russian and
investments.
Chinese money.
Not a
going
lot
in
of
there.
people, and not a lot of love.
One of the problems right now is that the alleged Syrian resistance, the Free Army of Syria, or the Free Syrian rebels, or whatever you want to call them, are being commanded by Al Qaeda.
Well, after Libya, that's not really shocking, is it?
They said that, I believe it was the CFR that was praising the bravery and the courage of the Al Qaedan freedom fighters,
Really?
and praising how wonderful they are for the world.
Right. That's just wonderful. Yeah. Well, that's yeah. I mean, that's nothing that we didn't already know. This is what these guys do.
Well, that's the geopolitical chessboard that Zbigniew Brzezinski talked about in his book, The Grand Chessboard, where he talked about surrounding Russia with all the nations that are that can be easily taken over by U.S. influence, puppet regimes, satellite countries, all that type of stuff, proxy wars, and good old U.S. intervention.
And that's what we've been seeing.
Well, that's what we see right now.
Right on cue.
The way it looks is two things that are going on in Syria. There's a war of attrition, and there's a proxy war. And people say, well, what the hell is a war of attrition? Basically, what a war of attrition is when you try to diminish and destroy and cut off resources and make it impossible for the regime to sustain itself. Kind of a scorched earth policy where you have the Free Syrian Army, so-called the rebels, the freedom fighters, working with Al Qaeda, going in there and ethnically cleansing people that don't want to go along with the rebellion. So if you're, again, I'm not, well, I just want to make this clear. I'm in no way backing Assad. There's no way that I would back his regime, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit back and look at the lesser or greater of two evils and make a decision on which side I should back.
So we shouldn't even.
Really be
We shouldn't
involved.
be
Yeah,
involved.
just let them deal with their own bullshit. We got enough problems here to worry about and deal with. But this geopolitical move by the global elite to remove the Syrian dictatorship, Assad, is being led by the powers that be, NATO, and the coalition of the willing, I guess you can call them,
Is that what they are?
war on terror superstars, the Team America. We're gonna bomb the fuck out of you and give you freedom.
We're gonna bomb you into freedom.
You know those guys. So again, we have this so-called call for democracy, but you have the Syrian rebels committing acts of genocide, democide, ethnic cleansing, and all that wonderful stuff that comes with the NATO-backed tyrannical revolution, I guess you can call it. Not really a revolution, but more of a regime change, changing the pieces on the chessboard,
Well, how does
realigning
this all
the
end?
pieces.
How does it all end?
How does it all end? Two ways. We expose and show the world what's really going on and prevent World War III, or we go on a full-fledged World War III where the thermonuclear option is clearly on the table. Russia said that they're ready to strike if threatened, or stricken, or however you want to pronounce that, or however you want to put it, but they're definitely not going to back down.
Well, I was saying.
Neither would
about
China.
Syria, like, how do you think that this whole Syrian thing is gonna end? You think it's
Well, the
it's
Syrian
gonna end
thing, if international,
within some Al Qaeda flag flying in Syria too?
well, the international intervention that we've seen
Yeah.
at this point is coming from several different angles. We have the Chinese influence, we have the European Union influence, who also trades with Syria. The EU is another big trade partner. The United States is not a trade partner with Syria. In fact, the United States considers Syria to be a terrorist nation, a rogue nation, one of the member states of the quote-unquote axis of evil, the new enemy to be feared. So, we have a lot of geopolitical interest there, and not only that, the money interest. So again, look at the nations who have their hands there. Russia, China, United States, three big superpowers of the world. Each one has their own financial interest in the Middle East as a whole, and Syria being the doorway to Iran, that's a prime target, especially right now in the global game of chess, where you have world elites like Warren Buffett, Zbigniew Brzezinski, Henry Kissinger, and the like, still working with organizations like the Trilateral Commission and the Council on Foreign Relations, who believe they run the world and who believe it's their duty to their god, whatever that may be, Molech or
Yeah.
Lucifer or Satan or whatever you want to call it. It's their duty to cleanse the world of these evil people that do not want to be living in slavery.
Don't care.
Yes, so they don't care about humanity.
No, don't care.
Don't care.
Don't care. They're sacrificing. Don't care.
Yes. Their cares are gone. So again, this is Manny and Greg, kind of going on a rant here. This is We Are Change East Bay News. We're just talking, letting you guys know what we think, we want to hear what you think. So I'm sure we're gonna see some crazy comments on the bottom of this one for sure. Be bold. Mighty forces will always come to your aid when you're bold.